Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and today we're going to be taking a look at every single one of the brand new LEGO Dreamzzz sets releasing August 1st, 2023. LEGO Dreamzzz is the newest original LEGO theme complete with a full-on TV show, and I cannot wait because I love original LEGO themes. I got into LEGO because of their original themes like Bionicle and Ninjago, and now here we have every single one of the LEGO Dreamzzz sets, and I'll be taking a look at each one of them in a massive mega review. Of course, we have the massive Nightmare Shark Ship, Mr. Oz's Space Bus, but even some of the smaller sets are amazing as well. Mateo and Z-Blob the robot is so prominent in the show, and it's such a fun figure to play with. You get the great Grimkeeper Cage Monster, which is very menacing. There's a lot of amazing stuff to see here, and I can't wait to get into the mega review, so let's go ahead and jump in right now. Alright, so before me, we have the entirety of the LEGO Dreamzzz first wave for August 2023 fully built, besides just one set, 40657 Dream Village, which is a LEGO retailer exclusive, and as such, that one was not sent to me with the initial batch. Otherwise, this is every single LEGO Dreamzzz set releasing August 1st, 2023. And so, let's just go ahead and go through what these sets are and talk a little bit about the composition of the wave, the minifigures, the characters, and of course, I'll be doing detailed individual reviews on every single one of the sets in the next few hours as they come out. I actually have one new review releasing every hour after this video comes out, so there will be a constant flow of LEGO Dreamzzz reviews coming out today on June 28th. First off, we have set number 71453 right in the corner here. This is Izzy and Bunchy the Bunny, retailing for $20, 21 euros with 259 pieces. Then we have 71454, Mateo and Z-Blob the Robot, retailing for 20 bucks or 21 euros at 237 pieces. All the way in the corner there, we have Grimkeeper the Cage Monster, retailing for $38, 38 euros, but only coming with 274 pieces. That's set number 71455. Next up is 71456, Mrs. Castillo's Turtle Van, which retails for $48, 48 euros with 434 pieces. Then we have the Nightmare King's Pegasus Flying Horse, 71457, which you can see the flying horse back there, retailing for $50 or 53 euros for 482 pieces. 71458 is the aptly named Crocodile Car, which is basically exactly what it sounds like, retailing for $60 or 63 euros with 494 pieces. 71459 is our first location-based set for the wave, which is the Stable of the Dream Creatures. You can kind of see it all the way in the back here, retailing for $80 US, 85 euros with 681 pieces. 71460 is Mr. Oz's Space Bus, retailing for $100, 100 euros, and coming with 878 pieces. And finally, there are two large sets left. The first set is the Fantastical Treehouse, all the way in the back there, the large treehouse, 71461, with 1,257 pieces for a surprisingly good price of $110 US or 105 euros. And lastly, we have probably for a lot of people the most interesting set of the wave. 71469 is the Nightmare Shark Ship, retailing for $140 or 140 euros, coming with 1,389 pieces. Altogether, I think the coolest thing about LEGO Dreamzzz as a wave is that it really does feel like LEGO is trying to combine different genres and different styles of play into just one particular theme. Obviously, you have the Nightmare Legions. These are some of the coolest sets for me, the villain-focused ones, from the Shark Ship to the Cage Monster to the Unicorn Pegasus Horse. These are all really interesting. They have their own aesthetic. They're very much focused on conflict and battle between good and evil. And then you have some of the hero vehicles, which also are meant to kind of feed into the conflict with some of the more aggressive ones like the Crocodile Car, the Space Bus, and even to an extent Z-Blob the Robot here. But then there's actually a really good mix of standard, more peaceful civilian animals, locations, and vehicles, which really kind of make it feel like this theme is trying to target a ton of different demographics. Like the Turtle Bus here, the Stable, even Bunchy the Bunny, and the Treehouse feel more like out of something like LEGO Elves, even minus any of the conflict. Overall, I think this is a really interesting setup for a brand new LEGO theme wave, because for the first time, LEGO does not seem to be targeting one type of demographic or a particular age or gender with these particular sets. Instead, they're really trying to do a ton of different things at once for Dreamzzz. Maybe for younger boys or boys looking for more action-oriented stuff, you could obviously have more interest in the villain stuff in these battle-focused sets, and maybe for younger girls, they have more focus on the actual traditional kind of style of Friends or Elves style of building for fantastical, cute creatures. But really, Dreamzzz is intended to be specifically unisex. They are not just made for one demographic, whereas for previous themes like Nexo Knights, Chima, and Ninjago, those initially at least started off as more oriented towards younger boys, whereas stuff like LEGO Friends and LEGO Elves are specifically oriented towards girls. This is an example of an original theme that really does appeal to both. Obviously, nothing stopping boys from really getting into these sets, nothing stopping girls from getting into these, but I just find it really interesting how the composition of the wave is really inclusive in terms of trying to bring in all sorts of different fans. And no matter your age, your race, your gender, you can enjoy LEGO Dreamzzz for what it is, and just focus on getting these sets that appeal to you. If you're somebody who likes this more fantastical style of location-based building with a treehouse or a stable, there are sets for that. If you're someone who likes more villain-focused stuff with more aggressive-looking builds, of course you have a ton of great villain builds to get as well. Everything is pretty nicely priced out across multiple different price points. The minifigures are a pretty wide range of either very menacing-looking creatures for the Nightmare King himself, or you can get down to the heroes, which have a lot more interesting design aesthetics to them, from capes to pencils to really nice, transparent, opalescent satin hair pieces. Of course, there's just a really wide variety of different characters introduced for the LEGO Dreamzzz theme itself, and that's what makes this so interesting to me as a LEGO theme, where it feels the most diverse out of any original LEGO theme we have gotten so far. Now, of course, there are definitely pros and cons to the way these sets are set up, mostly in terms of price, because while this is a very diverse wave, I definitely also feel that the prices are also very, very strange. Some prices and some sets, like the $20 sets right here for Z-Blob the Robot as well as Bunchy the Bunny, are priced incredibly well at $20. And even some of the larger sets, like the Fantastical Treehouse and the Shark Ship, are actually priced really well for the amount of stuff that you get. But then you have some weird, inexplicable ones, like the Grimkeeper the Cage Monster here, which is $38 despite only have 274 pieces. The Pegasus Flying Horse is $50 and feels like that is fairly okay, but then you get to stuff like the Space Bus at $100, which also feels a little bit high, and altogether, there's just a lot of interesting things going on with the way these are priced. Some of them are great, some of them are not so great, and it really is interesting how the entire wave is pretty mixed in terms of the distribution. Now we'll be taking a much closer look at the minifigures as we get into the individual sets over the course of today as I publish my individual reviews, but I just want to note how much effort and detailing was put into the minifigures. Both main protagonists have some sort of a fabric element in their most kitted out forms, as well as dual molded legs, which is really interesting to see LEGO focus on that for a brand new original theme. The previous amount of effort that we got for original theme characters like this was with Monkey Kid, and then even for the side characters, you can tell a lot of effort was put into making them feel very fleshed out. Even the civilians have unique torsos and face prints that really make them feel like their own characters. Now, there's definitely, after seeing all 20 episodes of the TV show, a lot of stuff that's missing from this lineup. There are some notable characters, creatures, builds, and minifigures that we still have not gotten in LEGO form, so personally I'm quite excited for the next wave because we have some sort of an idea of what we might be getting for the next wave, given how prominent certain characters were but they just didn't appear as sets. But overall, I feel like this is a really strong wave, with the villain figures being some of the best that LEGO has ever put out. Just check out the Nightmare King with the flowing rubber cape with nightmares oozing out of the side of it. That is such a cool design, it almost feels straight out of something like Lord of the Rings or some high fantasy type of LEGO thing. All in all, I'm a big fan of the way the minifigures came together. There's not a single minifigure design that feels lazy or repetitive to me compared to what we've gotten in the past. Even the most minor side characters like Mrs. Castillo, the old lady here, get a brand new dual mold to represent an older woman's body. So it's so interesting how much effort was put into the minifigures and characters for this particular wave. Also introduced for LEGO Dreamzzz in particular are a couple of new pieces that are specifically currently exclusive to the theme, such as these small little humanoid character type of pieces. They're using it for all sorts of different characters throughout the entire wave, from the Grim Spawn here for the villains, as well as for Z-Blob in a more humanoid form. I actually really like this. It's kind of a cross between like the baby figure as well as the minifigure, and it feels just very interesting to have for a scale for a type of LEGO character. Certainly only something that could have been done as a specialized standalone thing. And they also have introduced a piece that honestly I'm not the biggest fan of, which is this jet exhaust / leaf element. It feels like they were almost kind of trying to do too much at once, where for the sets where it's supposed to look like leaves, I can't help but see the jet exhaust, and for the sets where it's supposed to be jet exhausts, I can't help but see the petals actually in the leaves themselves. So I feel that it's cool that LEGO is trying to make a multi-function piece. I think it's very nice, and I'll commend LEGO for doing that. But I also feel that maybe for sets like this, they probably could have just made two new pieces, one jet exhaust and one leaf element, and they probably would have been much better off for it. Now, overall, the composition of the wave is really great because we get 3 villain-focused sets, 3 hero-focused combat sets, as well as 4 different location or more peaceful sets, so I feel like that is a pretty nice distribution of different types of things to have in these sets themselves. And the other thing that I want to specifically note about LEGO Dreamzzz that they are doing differently is that every single set has the option to rebuild it into something different. It's not as drastic as Creator 3-in-1, which obviously completely rebuilds the sets themselves, and it does vary from set to set how drastic it is, but for instance, if you take the Nightmare Shark Ship here, you can see this is what the Shark Ship is supposed to look like on the front, but they actually have 2 different options for you to change it into different things. So either you can choose to obviously make it into the Shark Ship itself, where you can see you have the jet engines and the fins, or you can make it a wheeled vehicle instead, and it does come with a ton of extra pieces to accomplish that. On the topic of instructions, I really want to note how cool the instructions are for LEGO Dreamzzz. I'll be showcasing each and every one in the individual reviews, but what's really interesting is that they have custom artwork as you're progressing through the build. It really feels like the natural evolution of stuff like Ninjago Core, which had some comics factored into the builds themselves, but this is just taking it to the next level, where as you actually go through the instructions themselves, there are little illustrations showcasing the characters, joining the world. The pages are colored differently depending on what the characters are doing and if you're building a villain or hero type of thing. And overall, I just think it's so interesting how they've really tried to induce a high amount of story into the instruction manuals themselves, making it feel like you're actually building as part of play and integrating that into the play patterns for this particular theme. Overall, if I had to rank the sets, it's probably no surprise that the Nightmare Shark Ship is at the top of my list. There's so much that you can actually do with it, and we'll be talking a lot more about that when I get into the individual review, from the chomping mouth to the cages to the fully removable cockpit. But I also really like the Pegasus build. The Space Bus is a bit overpriced, but also really fun. The Treehouse is one of the best price sets of the wave, and I actually really like the $20 Z-Blob robot. There's so much to like about this wave, and I cannot wait to get even further into the details. Of course, I think that about sums up our mega review of LEGO Dreamzzz, and it's a little bit mixed. Some sets feel really well priced, other sets don't. I feel like the builds are all generally pretty good. Nothing super standout in terms of set builds other than maybe the Shark Ship, and I guess to an extent the Pegasus Horse is also a really good one. But it just feels like a very unique, creative LEGO line. I'm just really curious if the TV show is going to be enough to propel the theme forwards to success, because clearly a lot of budget, a lot of effort went into making this brand new original theme, and I'm super excited to see how kids actually take to the sets themselves. But with that, we've summed up our mega review for the LEGO Dreamzzz 2023 August sets. Again, let me know in the comments below which is your favorite set, which ones do you like, which ones do you dislike, and stay tuned because every single hour I will be publishing a brand new LEGO Dreamzzz review, starting with the largest and working our way over to the smallest. That's all for now, and thanks for watching. Alright, and with that, we have summed up our look at every single one of the brand new LEGO Dreamzzz sets. Let me know down in the comments below which ones are your favorite, do you like them, do you dislike them, and how would you rank the brand new LEGO Dreamzzz sets all releasing on August 1st. Thanks so much for tuning in to this review. It was such a blast, and thank you to LEGO for sending me these for the LEGO Ambassador Network. And of course, stay tuned to Duckbricks for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon. Bye for now.